be the positive change that you actually wish you had or want to see. Today, I'm going to talk about that, why I need you to actually stand up, be bold, be audacious, be the thing that is going to get people to pay attention to you and be the leader of your community or your tribe or your group or whatever it may be. Today is standing truly in who you are meant to be and who you are becoming as well. So today I want to talk about how to make those positive changes that you wish you see and want other people to embrace. And so today, I really want to go over embracing your true, authentic self. For me, as you guys know, if you've been following along, this has been truly a journey of, it started probably 7 years ago when I first became an entrepreneur. I didn't want to become an entrepreneur. I just stumbled upon it because I was in a situation that I knew I had to get out of. And the only way to get out of it was truly entrepreneurship. I knew nothing else was going to change that. And so I embarked on the journey of entrepreneurship with complete blind eyes, literally went into it clueless, didn't even know how to open up a business bank account, and was like, all right, we're going for it. We're doing this thing. And I did it, and I was successful at it twice, luckily, knock on wood. And I realized, like, wow, entrepreneurship is truly about, it's a lifelong journey of self-development. That's truly what it is. And I was just like, I absolutely love this because I love learning new things, trying hard things, doing things that people absolutely hate doing. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm going to keep exploring and being the person to raise the standards. And so as I started to build my practice, I really was the first one to integrate orthopedics and pelvic health, which is why I called the company Ortho Pelvic. And now people will say orthopelvic therapist. And it's like, yeah, it's because I have integrated both of those. I knew it wasn't just strictly pelvic health. And I think that's really important because that's truly authentically was like the first time I felt like I stepped into the version of myself with really embracing outside the norm of what was being out there at the time. Now people are talking about it, but at the time it was just strictly pelvic or orthopedic. But at the time, 15 years ago, I was combining both. So I think that was really important. The next thing I could say when I truly stepped into the version of myself was the the growth that had to be had over building a brick and mortar practice, dealing with people, dealing with changes, dealing with massive growth in a very short period of time. There is so much that you have to change and you have to learn and you have to develop that school does not teach us. They just teach us manual techniques or special tests, but they really do not teach us all the other things that you have to embody: the mindset shifting, the physical changes, the mentalness that you have to endure with just getting a group of people together. How are you going to lead? How are you going to build a community? How are you going to get people to collaborate? Like, all of that goes into building a very successful company. And so when you try to embrace yourself, sometimes in the journey you get lost in yourself. And I think for me, some years I got lost. I did. I'm just being honest. I got lost from being my true self because I was so concerned about helping everyone else and so concerned about growing the business while trying to help everyone else that I lost myself. And then it allows you not to step into the version that you're meant to be. And during that process, because this thing happened over here and this thing hurt over here and this was, all this stuff happened, you start to question yourself because you maybe have hate coming at you, because that's part of growing. People will hate you. People will love you. People will kind of like you. Okay? But part of the growth is like you start to question yourself, like, who am I? Because so many people will be like, well, I don't like this about her, or, oh, shame on you for making that decision for the company, or, whatever it may be. And then you start to evaluate, like, who truly am I? And this will happen typically for people, what I've seen in businesses, because, I've coached over 400 pelvic floor therapist businesses. I would say it typically happens between the 5 and 6 year mark of the business. If people get there, this is what you're going to find. And you'll start to question, like, who am I and what do I want? You will at that time period. So if you're not there yet, stay tuned. This may have already happened to you, but there is more to come. There's always more to come. And so um, I would say it's not really until you develop your core values, which I know sounds so like corporate core values, but like who truly you are. Like for me personally, I know deep down I'm a very loyal person. I'm honest. I'm very upfront. I'm very competitive. I can come at you kind of like, what, with a lot of freaking energy, right? Some people will take that negatively. They shouldn't, but some people do. And that's truly who I am at my core. I'm a big helper. I will help you. I will give you everything. And so that's kind of just what I've learned about myself. And so when you know that, then you can truly step into the authentic version of you. And for me, I had to have like a whole life shift and a whole life change to truly be able to step into the version that I knew I was meant to be. I could see it in my head, but I wasn't living it. And in the head version of my true authentic self was like me in makeup with my hair done, dressed up, kind of like I'm presenting today. I'm not that dressed up, but my hair is done. I straightened my hair. I did a different vibe today, right? This is me stepping into who I, in my head, am meant to be. And a lot of us can't even have that vision of that because it's like, feels like it's such far in the distance. And for me, it did feel like that in the moment. But now stepping into it, knowing that I am the true leader, and then also proving that. Like I was the first one in the healthcare space that I know of that literally started business retreats where I would actually host business retreats where we would do it at Airbnbs and I would do cold plunges. And this was like 4 years ago when cold plunges like wasn't that cool. Cold plunges and like did hard activities because the hard activities is the business lesson. And we would like have everyone sleep over, kind of like a sorority at a house. Like all that stuff was like, I was like the pioneer of it, meaning I was the one that's like, I don't want to do things in a boring conference room. And to this day, I have yet to do anything in a boring conference room because that's just not my vibe. And so that takes leadership. That takes standing in who you are. That takes boldness. That takes speaking out. I speak out a lot about our field, especially in healthcare. That takes boldness, meaning like how much that they didn't teach us in school. I think it's so shitty that they didn't teach us half the stuff that we should have learned about, right? And how they kind of brainwashed us to just think more Con Ed, yay, yay, yay. And that's not it. It's not how it works. And so I think really being the change starts within. And if you want to change anything, you have to level yourself up. You have to like really look at you and say, what things am I not happy with right now? What things would I like to improve upon? Do I like me? Do I like who I've become? Do I like how I treat people? Do I like how I treat my family? Do I like how the way I act? Like all those things matter. And if you don't like stuff about you, then today is the day that you need to step up and you got to say, you know what? I'm going to change. I'm going to make this change happen. And to me, that's the positive impact that I want you to embrace. So it doesn't take anything from you to go to the grocery store and say hi to the people that collect the carts and say, thank you so much for that. It doesn't take anything for you to be out and about and be like, you know what? That's a really cute outfit. I love that outfit. Do you think that makes someone's day? Yeah. And that shows positivity and change and happiness and growth. And you can only do that and be in that state of saying someone has a cute outfit if you yourself are fulfilled and have the energy to even put out that to someone else. And so if you want to be the positive change, you have to embrace A, core values, and B, you have to be able to make sure that you have massive amounts of energy so that you can give to people. Because then they are like, wow, she's my girl. She's my leader. People want to be led so bad. There are such shitty leaders in this world right now. I'm not kidding. No one is stepping up. Everyone's afraid to put themselves on social media. Everyone's afraid to say bold things. If you talk against something, you're immediately canceled. Like, it's a crazy world. It's really crazy. People are afraid to say all their top mistakes online. Y'all know me, I put out everything. Okay? Because once you put it out there, then it's out there. Like, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. It's already out there. And that is so freeing, guys. That's how you live your true, authentic self. So, my challenge for you today is actually to put out the thing that you think in your head every single day that you tell yourself that you're like, I don't want anyone to know this. Put that on online, put that on the internet. Make a reel about it. Like, people in my mastermind just put out a post about how they're self-conscious and always have to be pulling at their shirt. She's like, Kelly, she messaged me that morning. She's like, Kelly, I'm literally crying and shaking right now because I just put out this post and like, I'm so scared that people are going to judge me over it. And then an hour or two later, I go to her post and you know what I see? There's like over 30 comments of people supporting her. I said, how does that feel? Now, an hour or two later, remember, she was just crying, shaking, right? An hour or two later, guess what she was doing? You know what? It actually wasn't that bad and it wasn't that scary. I said, great, let's put out another secret. And the more that you just literally just lay it all out there, the quicker you can overcome the hurdle instead of being stuck in a version of yourself that you don't like. So guys, that's my challenge for you at the end of this episode today. This is my challenge for you. Put out something that's so scary that no one knows about. For me, it was like I had a learning disability when my ear came off. I didn't tell anyone until like 4 or 5 years ago when I was on a stage of 500 people giving a speech and I was like, here we go. Like, this is it. And I told my deepest, darkest secret was I had that learning disability with my ear being ripped off. No one knew that. Made it throughout my whole entire life, didn't tell anyone. And that was so freeing because now I can openly talk about it. And that's actually part of my path and my true authentic self of why I can be different. Because I had to be different because my ear fell off. Like, that's it. So I need you guys to be comfortable in putting this out there, especially on the internet, so people actually get to know, like, and trust you. That's the key, and that's the lesson today. All right, guys. Bye-bye.